Hey Pixies! Today we're going to interrupt our regularly scheduled Halloween manicures and we're going to do a breast cancer awareness manicure. I am using Ritzy and Cascade Colorworks for the most part. I wanted to use the Ritzy Dips Sassy color. This was a freebie, I think, for Mother's Day this year, and it is, I believe, mainline now, so I think you can purchase this. And then I have Cascade Colorworks Rose Quartz. Now I am going to apply this first and see how I feel about this color with it. I may change my mind on this one depending on how this looks, because you know I don't swatch. And then I have the Cascade Colorworks Crystal Clear, which is their clear dip with some of Galaxy stuck to the bottom here from Cascade Colorworks. And then I'm using the Cascade Colorworks dip liquids, and I will need gel for the 2 nails, or at least 1 nail. So since I'm using the Ritzy Sassy color, I grabbed my Ritzy gels. I'm getting started with the Cascade Colorworks base. This is the dip base. I do not have their gels because I was waiting for their gel, and about a week after I ordered, they finally announced the release, so I missed out on that. But I'm gonna open this. I know that they fill them really high, so I'm going to open it over my cupcake liner. It's got foils in it, so I want to see what this looks like whenever I get it applied before I determine my final solid pink I'm going to use. But it's going on every other nail, so it's going to go on our thumb, middle, and pinky. So I'm going to start by applying the dip base. If I remember correctly, this dip base is a little bit slower drying than what I am used to working with, so I don't have to go super fast if my memory serves correct. So I'm just going to apply that to the whole nail. And I like to pour over for my first layer. And then I am going to give this a little pat because of the foils. And then clean up my cuticle area. And like I said, I believe this dip liquid is a little slower drying if I'm remembering correctly, so it gives us time to work. And then I'm going to repeat that on my middle and my pinky. And I like to hold my finger like this typically, just because it helps the liquid flow away from your cuticle area. It's a really pretty color. I love hot pink. Now I did flood just a little bit right here, so I'm going to go there first. I typically flood my pinky. If I'm going to flood a nail, it's usually my pinky because it's so little. So I just kind of remove that and laid into it again. We'll clean it up the best we can. It's always best to try to get it off prior to it drying, or if you're using gel, before you cure. So I am just going to give this a second. I don't think it's dry enough to dust off yet, so I'm just going to give it a second to kind of dry, and then we will do our second dip. But how pretty is that? I'm going to move that out of the way just in case that this has any glitter. I don't want it to end up in the cupcake liner with the powder. Look how easily those foils dusted right off. Those are great foils because you want them to be kind of soft so that whenever you dust off, any excess comes off too. Now with this second round, since we're going to lay in, we'll get a lot more of the foils. So I am going to actually pour a good bit of this in here. And then if you give it a little shake, it'll bring those foils to the surface. So I'm going to repeat, but this time I am going to be laying my finger into the powder. So I'm going to apply the base, just a nice thin layer. I do really like this dip base from Cascade Colorworks. So I do recommend it if you need a good, slower drying base. So it looks a little scary, huh? Now I would not recommend doing this if you don't know the foils are soft, because I've done manicures before with foils that were not this cooperative and it's a mess. But if you know the foils are soft, which you could test it on a swatch stick, then you would be good. But that is so lovely. Oh my goodness. It's got like, to me in this lighting, it's like a light pink and like a champagne color, which I might be totally wrong about that, but in this lighting, that's what it looks like. And I don't want to waste any of these foils. I do not have glitter in here, so I'm just going to dust off over. But that is so beautiful. I think the light pink will look good with it too. And as I was saying, I really like the Cascade Colorworks liquids. So if you're in the market for some liquids, the dip liquids are really good. And the next time I get from them, I will get their gels too. But look at that, how pretty. And I love it with the white. Okay, we're gonna move on to Rose Quartz from Cascade Colorworks. Normally I would have done that first. The reason I didn't was because I wanted to see what Sassy looked like, and I needed to be able to see what that looked like to determine if I wanted to use Rose Quartz with it. But normally I would do my solid first and encapsulate. The reason is because I already have a foil in it right there. So that's why, because once I start using foil or glitter, it's just kind of everywhere at that point. So I'm not even gonna hold my hand over that because it's going to get foils in it. I'll probably try to wipe off my hands a little bit with alcohol quick. Now I will say, if you saw my Halloween nail art videos, I used Rose Quartz for my really cute ghost with the crown of flowers, and for that I used Rose Quartz as the base color, and I needed to do 3 dips of Rose Quartz to get the saturation. Now I have this white underneath, so that's going to make everything appear more pigmented right from the start. So I'm only going to probably need to do 2, but full disclosure, you may need 3 since I needed 3 on that swatch. And I got a little messy right there, but we'll clean that up. It's nothing that's on my skin. It's just sticking up a little bit. So we'll clean that up then. What do you think of my shape? Are you liking the new shape? Some days I like it, some days I want coffin, but that's just, at this point, you guys, I know some people always have the same shape, same length, the whole thing. I like so many different shapes and lengths. You're probably just never gonna have consistency with that for me. So I hope that that's okay. I really like the powders I've used so far from Cascade Colorworks too. Nice and fine, they go on beautifully, so I really like them as well. If you're gonna be ordering the dip liquids, just go ahead and get yourself a couple dips too. Now I'm pulling out my clear. I'm gonna fold this over. Because I definitely don't want to contaminate my clear. Now I'm going to right off the bat pour the clear in there and move that to the side while I dust off. I'm just gonna dust everything one more time here. And what you can do, I have that little spot at my ring cuticle here that's pushed up. You can just kind of lightly, now these aren't activated or capped, so I suggest going very lightly if you're gonna do that, and just kind of even it a little bit before you do your clear coat. Just be extremely delicate, and I am not responsible if you mess up your nail doing that. Use at your own risk. All right, so now I'm just going to be applying the Cascade Colorworks dip base to each nail and laying into the clear. I'm going to do the light pink first, just in case this brush picks up any of the foils or anything from the pink, which it shouldn't, but never know. Still clean up your cuticle area. You don't want that clear to harden on your skin or anything either. And the reason that we clear cap is, first of all, that will help your activator not get contaminated because it's always just coming in contact with clear. And second of all, it will protect your colors from buffing and filing. So if you tend to get white spots on your nails and you're not using a clear, use a clear. You're actually damaging the color when you're buffing and filing right on top of it instead of clear. And if I were to go in and just buff and file on top of those foils, I would either end up removing all of them from my nail, or I would turn them silver. So I'd literally like buff the color right off. That goes for glitter as well. And if you're doing like a chunky glitter and you have a good bit of buffing and filing to do, you can always do 2 layers of the clear. And whenever you dust off, make sure you're using a stiff nail brush, because that really helps so that you don't end up with a speckled finish where it looks cloudy or anything. The stiff nail brush just really helps to get all of that off. You can find them at the dollar stores. A lot of companies offer them as an add-on for like $1 or $2. I usually get mine at Walmart. This is super pigmented, so it's affecting my dip brush, so I'm wiping it off before I put it back in so I do not contaminate. right, so I'm gonna dust it really, really well. I am going to activate. This is of course, the Cascade Colorworks Activator. You can mix and match brands. I see that a lot as questions in nail forums on Facebook and stuff. You can mix and match. I've never found a brand I couldn't mix and match between activators, dip liquids, all that. All right, so I am going to give that like 2 minutes or so, and then I'm going to do my buffing, filing, and reshaping and come back. I'm done buffing and filing, and we're going to do just a little bit of nail art here. So I have on this cupcake liner a little bit of the Ritzy gel top coat, and I have a nail art brush here that I'm just cleaning off with some alcohol. I don't know if I want to use this brush or a different one. I'm going to attempt to use this brush, but I want to do a ribbon on my ring finger. So I'm going to take the clear gel, which isn't going to be probably really easy for you to see until we chrome it. So I'm just going to flash cure that. Now I'm going to take this Nailux Co. Rose Gold Chrome pen. I don't think that they sell these anymore. They do have other chrome though. And I'm going to go over that top coat. Okay, now I'm going to take a fine brush and I'm going to do that same process, except I'm going to write the word hope. Okay, so I flash cured that like the ribbon, and now I'm going to take that same pen and go over where I top coated. It's kind of fun to see it come to life whenever you are doing the chrome on top and you can see where you put your gel. To finish up, we're going to use Ritzy Gel Base. We're going to apply that to each nail and cure. You'll want to cure according to your lamp instructions. The reason I do gel base first is because if I don't, I tend to get chipping and peeling at the edges. The reason that I wanted to do a breast cancer awareness manicure, I do one every year. My grandmother was a 2-time breast cancer survivor. She has since passed, but she beat it twice, and I always think of her in relation to this. Just making sure I got the edges because like I said, I want to keep this one for a while. I don't want my peel base to make it pop off tomorrow. So I'm going to cure. Okay, now I'm going to take the Ritzy Gel Top Coat, and I usually do my thumb first and cure. And that's because when your thumb is in the lamp, it's on the side. So it does have a tendency to kind of run to that side. But I'm just going to do a thin layer of the gel base, capping the free end, and at least flash cure my thumb. And then apply it to the rest of the nails and cure. Okay guys, we're all cured. What do we think? Let me know your thoughts down below. And I'm going to apply some Cuticle Oil. This one is Scales of a Mermaid. It's been very loved, as you can see. This one is Kiss Me at Midnight, which was an exclusive, and it's probably my favorite. But I am going to rub this in to re-nourish our cuticles. And while I do that, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. YouTube will then recommend it to others. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment below, or you can always find me on Instagram or TikTok at Tipping Pixie. Make sure you're subscribed with your notifications on. I have new videos every Monday and Thursday. That's it for this one, guys, and I will see you in the next one.